The streets ain't safe. And all you OGs coming home from jail, y'all worthless. The streets ain't safe. And all you OGs coming home from jail is worthless. Because you supposed to come back out to these streets and get back on the front line, put that bullhorn in the garbage. Put the bullhorn in the garbage. It's time for the same way the United Nations is having meetings, the hood should be having meetings and showing results. I don't care about your 501c3s. I don't want to hear about your nonprofits. Please do not tell me about how you went and established a 501c3 and a nonprofit to sell your people out. I don't care about that. People been telling me to get a nonprofit going since I've been on YouTube. I don't care about that. Whoever provides the money for you, they control you, my nigga.
See, ignorant shit be entertaining. You can't deny that this shit is ignorant, but at the same time it's entertaining. A lot of people want to know what's going on in jail, what's going on in prison, what's going on in the hood. So it might be ignorant, but it's entertaining, and that's why a lot of people look at it. But unfortunately, this is where niggas' minds is at. When you look at all these podcasts in LA, like Adam 22, you know, you might say Back on Fig, you might say the Community, or any one of these LA podcasters. All they talk about is gang banging and street stuff. It's never anything real for black people. There's never no food for thought. Their content is surrounded around gang bang politics. It's surrounded around ignorant shit. And that ain't no personal shot at nobody. I just got to be real about the content that a lot of these LA podcasters are making. You run to a white man to talk about hood politics, gang politics, and every nigga from LA who's a gangbanger who's getting out of prison think he can be a podcaster now. Every ignorant nigga from LA that's been in jail or prison believes that he has a talent to be a podcaster now, because of all these ignorant gangbang stories that get a lot of views on social media. So every gangbanger in LA want to be a podcaster. They feel like that's the easiest thing they can do to get money. Well, shit, all I got to do is come to the internet and talk shit, talk about who I caught a fade with, talking about who snitched and who ain't real. Oh, nigga, I can talk about that all day. Then you got niggas who talk about catching fades all day, right? You got gangbangers gossiping on the internet now. Gangsters is supposed to move in silence. But all these gangbangers do now is they come to the internet to expose their business. There's no such thing as gangbangers moving in silence. These niggas hop on the internet to expose all their business to get a YouTube check. So there's no such thing as the code of silence when you got gangbangers gossiping for a YouTube check every damn month. That's why people don't respect gangbanging no more. People see it for what it is now. The internet has made it look goofy, because you got people from the outside looking in like, man, if this is gangbanging, this shit is goofy, and I don't want nothing to do with it. Eventually, you're going to lose members. You're going to lose territory. You're going to lose members, and gangbangers they're going to lose their relevance. They're not going to be important. They're going to lose their relevance, because all you got to do is go to the internet to see a gangbanger. So membership is going to go down. You're going to lose territory. Wealthy people will come to buy up your community. And what did I say? I said this on the last podcast. I don't know why niggas be talking about checking in. That only applies to black people. When a foreigner like an Arab or an Asian or, you know, an East Indian or whatever they may be, they can put a business in a black neighborhood and they ain't got to check in with no Bloods and Crips. These foreigners make millions putting businesses in the black community. They'll put a business in the Blood and Crip hood. Do you think these foreigners say, hey, man, before we put a business here, I got to check in with the Bloods and Crips? Fuck no, they ain't got to do that. These niggas only extort each other. They only bully each other. Don't no foreigners got to check in with none of these niggas when they want to put a business in the black community. That check-in shit is only for other black people. They only extort and bully other black people. Foreigners do not have to live by those rules. An Arab or an Asian can put a business in the hood in Los Angeles right now, he ain't got to pay no taxes. He ain't got to check in. He can put a business wherever he feels like it, and he ain't got to worry about checking in, my nigga. You got black people who live in poverty in these communities, and these foreigners get rich in the black community, and they ain't got to check in with nobody. They ain't got to check in with no Bloods. They ain't got to check in with no Crips. They can do whatever they see fit when it comes to putting a business in the black community. And you want to talk about stupidity. Man, hit the like button, man. I'm just sharing this game with y'all, man. So blooding and cripping was designed for black people to tear each other down. It was designed for black men to kill each other. It was designed for black men to go to the penitentiary. Then they get out of prison, go to Adam 22 and talk about war stories and gang politics in hopes to get a YouTube check. That's exactly what's going on in Los Angeles, my nigga. Why would you dedicate your life to a gang, but when you get locked up, you can't even depend on the gang for financial support? You got to go to squares and family members and non-street people for financial support when you go to prison. That's exactly what happens to gangbangers when they get locked up. It's not the gang who's supporting them financially. Nah, my nigga. They got to call grandma. They got to call a mama. They got to call a grandma. They got to call their family members for financial support. You can't even depend on your hood niggas for financial support when you get locked up. That's crazy. You should never involve civilians and squares in your hood business. If you did hood shit to get locked up, you should be able to depend on hood niggas for financial support, not squares and family members, not civilians, my nigga. That is ass backwards. That is ass backwards. But for all you gangbangers who go to jail and prison, stop depending on squares and family members to support you financially when they ain't got nothing to do with street activity. They ain't got nothing to do with street activities. So why depend on squares for financial support? But you can't depend on the gang for financial support. That's crazy. But niggas dedicate their whole lives to the gang, to the set, just to get out of jail, with nothing. It's crazy, homie. Why you think gangbangers are willing to talk about hood politics for money? Because that's the only thing some of these niggas can do to make money. That's the only hope they got to make money. Let me hop on the internet and talk about gang politics on a white man's podcast. That's what a lot of niggas are inspired to do. That's what a lot of niggas in LA, they get out of jail and they run to no jumper to tell a prison story because they feel like that's the easiest thing they can do to make money, my nigga. Yeah, let me talk about gang politics with a white man. Let me talk about gang politics so that this white man can get wealthy off of my hood politics and prison stories. Yeah, my nigga, that's exactly what's going on in Los Angeles.
You go to prison when you lose. When you are the ultimate loser in prison, period, point blank. But that's all they got. That's the only opportunity they got a chance to get out here and get in touch with the world. Though they peeking into the world through this motherfucking cell phone. That's what they doing. They peeking. Young motherfuckers with the pistols. Y'all are knocking on the motherfucking door of prison and saying, "Let me come stay for the rest of my life." That's what y'all doing. You're knocking on the door saying, "Let me in. Let me in." That's what y'all doing. Toting them pistols. And all you young motherfuckers out there trying to be that motherfucker, you knocking on that penitentiary door to sit back there behind them motherfucking concrete walls, buried, hoping you can get a glance at the world through somebody's cell phone. Think about how nasty them cell phones these fools in there is using, because they sharing these motherfuckers and jacking off and doing all kinds of shit. Them is some nasty phones, I guarantee it. Motherfuckers in there paying to use them motherfuckers, and hey, that's a miserable existence, you know what I mean? Them motherfuckers would do anything to get back out here, but at the end of the day, what they really got, though, at the end of the day, save for anything, right? They might have a couple soups and a motherfucking name to fame back there. That's all they got, and they might not even have the soups. State pay, when I was locked up, that shit was like 30 cents a motherfucking day. End of the month, you getting like $13.60. That's enough to get a couple bars of soap, a couple soups, and a shampoo if you need that shit. Other than that, you stranded if your people ain't sending something in there, if you ain't got nobody looking out for you. But that's your reality. You trade off all this shit out here to be able to go out there and get that money. You had that big ass knot on the street. You had all the money, you had the watch, the chain, all that shit, but you get back there, you ain't got shit. Motherfucking out of sight, out of mind. If motherfucking the game was really paying that much, motherfuckers wouldn't be selling out to no Adam 22, no motherfucking Vlad 22, none of that shit. Nah, none of that shit. These OGs, a lot of these motherfuckers out here, they ain't never made nothing of them for themselves neither, though. They ain't did nothing. They been stranded. They been stuck in ignorance for their entire life and what they got to show for it. But tell some young motherfuckers, take their name and try to motherfucking take their fame too. Follow behind their footsteps. Follow they footsteps right to that penitentiary, right to that life sentence where you get stranded. And who's the dumbest motherfucker ever right there? The dumbest motherfucker ever is the motherfucker that followed that OG right there, thinking he was leading you to a motherfucking promised land, or he was really doing you a service when he was doing you a disservice, because the game did him a disservice by deceiving him and having his ass believe the shit that he been believing. That's why it's on this generation and motherfuckers out there that be listening to shit like this right here to make a change amongst your people and amongst your community, because if you don't make the change today, nobody else is. You know what I mean? You got to be the person in this world that you want to see in it. And, you know, motherfuckers can make all excuses and all that shit, but the cold reality is, y'all motherfuckers that be toting them guns and killing and doing all that shit, you motherfucking one step away from hitting that penitentiary. You one step away from trading your life in to go live back there in all those miserable concrete yards with these miserable motherfuckers that want to be around tough motherfuckers all day. That's all they want to be. They want to be the toughest motherfucker on the yard. You know what I mean? They want to be able to get the phase with all the that's where you can go get it right there behind that penitentiary wall. That penitentiary wall, that's what you can find all the tough motherfuckers. They all stranded back there from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s, the whole nine. They back there behind that wall. But y'all tell me what y'all think though. Is social media the new streets? Is it normal that for us now just to be able to see prisoners locked up in prison getting online to politic about another motherfucker on the streets? That's the new thing. That's where we going. That's where the game going. That's what's gonna be acceptable. Y'all tell me down below. If y'all made it this far, hit me with a young like. If not, I ain't tripping. Fuck it. If you ain't subbed up, sub up. You know how we do it. And I'll match y'all next video.
Some people call you a snitch. What you say about that?
Snitch.
Any comment on that?
Would you be a snitch if somebody shot at you?
Nah, I don't never snitch.
You never snitch, so somebody shoot at you?
I've been shut out. I got a bullet in my leg right now.
I mean, that's you. Where you at now, though?
And I didn't snitch.
Where you at now, though?
I didn't snitch though.
Hey.